Welcome everyone, Dr. Thor here. Get ready for Gnosis. Well, let's talk about parasites yet again here. And we're working on a whole series of subtle energy physics discs to eliminate parasites. This is a general clearing and protection disc that you can use on anything. Now, we talk about placing these on our machines and everything else to clear them, but guess what? The human machine, we can use this as well. So you can use this clearing disc, place your photograph on here, and whenever it's possible, people need to invest in getting one of our cameras, which you're going to use through the rest of your life with this work. If you're not doing that, your results tend to be slower and poor. So by having an actual Polaroid camera that we manufacture, you're giving yourself another major boost in success. And in the long term, it's a very small investment for a big payoff. Our cameras are specially empowered, and they will come with their own little empowerment disc. We are changing the way we do everything to basing everything on discs that you can just stack up and then put things on it like a camera. So we'll talk about that in the future as well as we change over so many of the things that we're doing. But that's another area. But let's talk about the bizarre world of parasites and there. Now, there's been a fair amount of talk about this lately from new books and some documentaries talking about parasites that get into your brain and tell you what to do. Kind of like a bad science fiction movie. Unfortunately, it is real. Now, they control you. They've traced these parasites, and they found that they control, that go into particularly animals and fish, that these animals commit suicide because the parasite wants them to die so they can then move on somewhere else. Or they tell fish to go up to the top of there and be eaten by birds and so forth so they can be transferred somewhere else. Wow. This is quite shocking, and as I said, there's several books of this out there that talk about that, and some documentaries, which are quite frightening to think that you don't really have free will at all. You're not even close. Not only do you have all the problems and conflicts you get with the comic book religions you believe in, but the bottom line is that you got entities telling you really what to do and controlling you to the point that they kill you or have you kill yourself. They depress you. They make you drug addicts. I mean, this is pretty shocking. Now, this is not overly new. The famous Dr. Parcells, Hazel Parcells, talked about the problems with parasites, funguses, and viruses, and how to get rid of them in different ways. And of course, there's a lot of herbal preparations out there. The first place everybody should start is to go to your local health food store. You can go to eBay and Amazon and find a parasite herbal formula. These are herbal formulas that you take that tends to kill parasites. It's much more complicated than that, but hey, look, you got to start somewhere. Now, if you're going to walk, take a long walk, well, you got to put your shoes on. So it's simple as that. Putting your shoes on is getting these formulas. So look for an anti-parasite formula of herbs. So these are readily available, and they have nice combinations, and these are the classic herbs that take care of parasites. It's a first step. It's not the greatest, but it does affect things. Things that are anti-parasitical, other things that are very cheap, cayenne pepper. You can get cayenne pepper capsules that you take very inexpensively, and you need to take these as well. Now, when I say take these things, you have to figure out your own personal life. I don't have any medical background. I'm not a doctor. You have to figure out everybody's got a different bioentity system. Maybe you can handle it, maybe not. Does cayenne pepper, which is a very hot pepper, is that a problem in your body? I don't know. You got to figure out yourself. I'm just giving you general information here that you need to adapt in your life and talk to an alternative health professional, your doctor, etc., about. Generally, these food type supplements aren't a big problem, but nothing is inert. If it's going to kill parasites, then it means it's powerful. You have to be careful with it. So you have to slowly take stuff. You have to make sure of the fact that what is going on with you personally. If you're taking medications, if you have other problems, kidney, liver, well, you got to be careful. You just don't grab a bottle of something and take it. And, this is what people, it works or don't. No. Vitamin C is toxic if you take too much of it. And if you take the wrong type of vitamin C, particularly artificial vitamin C, your body can only take so much, and your body's going to have a reaction to everything. It doesn't matter how so-called simple or common or food-based it is. People have problems with everything. If you take large doses of things, you're an idiot. Always start very slow. See what happens. Take a little notebook. See if you feel okay with it. How does it mix with your lifestyle? Are you taking medications, etc.? And consult people that know better or know you personally. But always, if it works, there's an old saying in alternative health in general and well-being, is the fact that if it can heal, it can hurt. And I think that's something we all should live by. You can kill yourself by drinking too much water. 500 people a year in the United States kill themselves with aspirin. So the whole idea is that there is all sorts. And aspirin is not innate either. People are allergic to it. You have problems. You have this. You have that going on. You have to be very cognizant of what's going on with you and your typical unique biology. Your own biosystem is something that you have to be very careful of, watch, and monitor. But you can get these formulas. Now, as I said, the other one, other than cayenne pepper, is garlic. Garlic is another thing that parasites hate. Again, garlic is good and bad. Garlic in itself is kind of a toxin. Not too many people know that, and it's particularly a psychic toxin. So if you take a lot of garlic, you're going to be psychically dumb. Onions are the same way. So you have to be careful here. It has been theorized, I don't know if it's true or not, but basically if you were to stick a pin in a garlic clove and then you take that pin and jam it into somebody's bloodstream, that it would kill them. I don't know. This is what's been said by a top scientist. I don't know. But the bottom line is that garlic is not this wonderful thing, and I try and stay away from that stuff in general. I do take a little bit of it because it is great for anti-parasitical. But to take garlic every day, especially if you want to do any kind of radionic or psychic work, is going to cause you problems. Same thing with onions, which I don't hardly eat anymore. So these are the type of things. But what is the effect on you personally? You don't know until you do it. Everybody's got food allergies. Everybody's got food problems, and they don't really understand what they should do or how to do it. So be careful. You certainly don't want to try and cure one problem by killing yourself. So I guess that's a solution. If you're dead, you have no problems. But that's kind of a stupid one. So the whole idea is we all have to understand that and figure out this whole reality of it. And of course, as I said, we're coming out with many types of subtle energy physics solutions to these things that will actually work on the energy of what creates that within the physical reality, but we work in the non-physical reality. So this is very advanced, and we'll get into those as they develop. So right now, cayenne pepper, very cheap. You can get it everywhere. A capsule of that. It's very good for your blood sugar, apparently. So taking cayenne pepper slowly and methodically and doing it over time should give you great help. Same thing with a little bit of garlic as well. And if you're not doing psychic work, you could take a little garlic every day for a period of time, but you don't do anything super long term. So, once you've taken garlic and even cayenne pepper for a month or so, the point is it's doing its job there. You probably should back off for a few weeks and then start up again. So these are all the things that you have to figure out for yourself and find out what's going on. So those are two things. And there are many other things that or natural substances that tend to get rid of fungus, viruses, and of course parasites. And they're all a little different. And there are certain things, particularly herbs that are, and we'll talk about that in another video here. There are herbs that are antibacterial. They work kind of like herbal antibiotics, they're called. And there are things that certainly work on these fungus as well. But your main areas that are problems are the parasites and the viruses. So, and there are natural stuff that you can take for that, which should always be your first try. And it's something that everybody should be using on a regular basis, on and off, to make sure that whatever's built up in your bioentity system is you're taking care of it. So, probiotics, make sure your gut health is very, very important because most of your immune system is in your gut. A lot of people don't understand that. So if you're not drinking things like kefir, taking probiotics, and not yogurt. Yogurt is poison. It's just a sugary piece of garbage. There's no active bacteria working there. So you'll see on the labels of yogurt, you'll see that it says a billion live bacteria added in production. Yeah, except they're all dead when they get to you. So these are not the things to take. So look into a good probiotic that you can take orally, or foods that act that way. So there are different things to do, sauerkrauts, other things, if you can stand that. These are things that help your immune system work down. And of course, this is also going to take care of parasite issues as well. All of it is about building a strong immune system. But these little worms, and they're literal worms that get into your brain, are very difficult to get rid of unless you have a virus. So we are coming out with a very extensive course in this area done by a master in this area who worked with some of the top people. There are some parasite formulas or systems talked about by Dr. Hazel Parcells, and you can get her book out there and learn how to boost your well-being in general through taking simple, low-cost baths. I always love that stuff. Everything has to cost a fortune? No. You should have some tools that you're going to use the rest of your life, but I'm a little tired of super expensive tools that are offered by all these people that have dubious values. You can take baths in cider apple vinegar, in baking soda, in a little cup of Clorox, and these things do amazing things for your health, and they are very inexpensive if you got a bathtub, and this is a problem as well, because you do have to soak in there to get effects of the bath. So maybe you can borrow somebody else's. Who knows? But these are things you can do. But, taking tablets is always a great way. And the other problem is that if you can, of course, with cayenne pepper, you don't want to take liquids unless you like to burn your throat out. But the bottom line is that you want to always take everything in a tincture. So if you get an anti-parasite or antivirus, always, 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 always take liquids. We find that powdered substances, no matter how organic and pure they are, hardly work at all. Sad but true. So if you're taking a capsule, you're taking a tablet of something physical, unless it's something, which we just mentioned, cayenne pepper, which is difficult to swallow and may even be dangerous and burn your throat and everything else, you take that by capsule. I take that by capsule. And I don't think there's much of a problem there of it working because it's such a powerful substance. But the problem is things have to go through, they have to be digested, they have to be assimilated by the body, they have to go through your kidneys and liver. This stresses your kidneys and liver. Doesn't matter if it's good for you or not. So if you do a lot of that, it's a problem. But it also is difficult to get into the bloodstream to get the job done. When it's a liquid, it goes there much quicker and easier. Very, very simple. So mark that. Make a giant note of that. The size of an elephant. Don't use capsules, tablets, if at all possible. So buy tinctures. Tinctures tend to be better buys, even though they tend to be more expensive to start off with. But they then tend to be better buys because they last longer. But it doesn't matter how cheap something is. Does it work or not? Well, why buy anything if it doesn't work? And certainly, the capsules are cheaper. Yeah, but it's just... Take that bottle, go to your toilet, and sprinkle the tablets in there and flush it. And then think good thoughts. Because that's exactly what you're doing. And remember, at the end of this, we're going to have a Ask a Question from the Mystic Pyramid. So think of a question you want answered. You're going to get the answer whether you like it or not. So the whole idea is that this is part of what's going on here. In the bigger picture. So very, very important. These little tips are the difference between success or failure. And this is what masters and great researchers and advanced people are able to pass on to you. The little tips that make things work for you. So we do have to understand all those areas of doing that. So anybody can go out there and get these supplements out there. You can also find out what herbs work, and you can get free information online that tell you what the different herbs for these things are. You can buy these herbs inexpensively, like 100 grams of them, put them in a jar, and then pour alcohol on them, make your own tincture for like 50% less of the cost than buying an expensive tincture. And that's something you should learn to do. All of us, it's a skill that we need to learn how to do, is to make our own tinctures to do things. So it's quick, it's easy, and low cost. Of course, we're developing energetic systems where hopefully at one stage at time, coming soon, we won't need as much as the physical things because we can transfer over to the energetic entirely. But you have to do it right or you will fail. So we need to understand that. So working on that is very important. But you can go to any of these different sites or even your local health food store if you have one, and they'll have supplements there that are anti-parasitical. They have bottles of things. Now, what are in these bottles in general? We've already talked about garlic, cayenne pepper. These are all and there's many anti-parasitic. Parasites don't like that. They don't like cayenne pepper. So this kills them and kicks them out. So taking these on a consistent basis is going to take care of part of it. Now, a lot of these parasites get deep within your entire being, in your organs, in your brain, and everything else. And there's a whole bunch of things. I do recommend people, of course, get, well, we're going to have an upcoming course on all this stuff, but getting Dr. Parcells' basic book out there, which there's even one on Kindle that you can get virtually for free in their monthly service. So you can get the Kindle unlimited service, or you can buy the book itself for like $8 or $9, and it's out there. Of course, it's in the Radionic Tech Library for people that are interested in that. And of course, by becoming a Patreon member or All Access, you then get to access our libraries, and they're for members only. These are things you can then reference our library. So these are the type of things you have. Now, there's lots of these, and I will be putting out a list of these things in the future of what's used for antivirus, anti-parasites, etc. Parasites can create lots and lots of mental problems, and I believe that this is the key to people that have all sorts of things, from the lower level but potentially very dangerous depression up to schizophrenia, to any other mental condition you have. I think a component of this is some sort of parasite or virus. There was some research done and noted in the book, Oxygen Therapies, where seriously mentally ill patients were given high doses of oxygen and were cured of their mental problems. Whoa. What's going on here? And what is a mental problem? Certainly it's not a chemical imbalance because your brain is kind of balanced, just like people that want to alkaline their body. You can't alkaline your body. Your body does that naturally. You can assist alkalization by making sure your body has enough alkaline products to use it without taking it from your bones, but you can't regulate it. And you can't regulate brain chemistry very well either, from what I understand. So the whole idea is that this is frightening. So viruses, parasites get in your mind and drive you insane. Are these planted within you? Are they extraterrestrial based? Are they based by demonic societies that run this world? Well, unfortunately, these are not science fiction questions. These are science fact questions, and something we all need to be aware of. But what do you do as the individual? Well, you've got to do a lot of things. We also have a very serious radiation problem, which you can alleviate by using certain baths that you take that will draw the radiation out of your body, which is crippling you and making you sick, by using something as simple as baking soda. Can't get much cheaper than that. Pour a couple of boxes of baking soda in a hot tub, sit there for 20 minutes, and you've drawn out a lot of radiation. Simple and cheap. This was pioneered by Dr. Hazel Parcells, so she needs a great round of applause, because I always try and say, what can we do simple? What can we do easy, and what can we do low cost? Money should never be something that stops you from getting ahead in life. But we all have to understand that things cost money, and you need to invest in your spiritual empowerment life. You need to get certain tools. On the other hand, you also should figure out how you can make your own tinctures, get your own herbs, take your own baths, and do those things as you can. You can't make your own radionic instruments. You can't make your rate plates and all the things you need. This you have to depend on others, and if you want the research to be done, you must support on others that are doing it. So it's important. So all of us have to fully understand what is happening there and what is going on in the bigger picture. So getting rid of parasites and working on them is important. Now, if you take oral stuff, it goes in your stomach, it'll take care of some of the stuff that are in your intestinal system, but getting past that is going to be a little bit difficult. But hey, every journey starts with the first step, and we have to start there. And again, start slow and methodical, and do not overdo it. More is not better. Your body will use what it needs and get rid of the rest. And if you overcome your body with stuff, you're going to get a reverse effect. And there are ways of testing your dosage, etc. We've shown this in other videos, but you can test dosages if you're a person who can handle pendulums and know how to use machines, etc. It's all goofy fun. So make sure you take note of all these things. Make sure that you are fully aware of what's going on and do things slow and methodical, and understand you have a unique biosystem, and what works for somebody else and they have no problems with could be toxic to you. So understand that. People are hurting themselves with supplements now. It's kind of ironic that this would happen, but you don't have to do that. So move slow and methodical. And if you're a member, if you're a Patreon member of All Access and all these things, well, you can come to the expert me, and I will give you some basic guidance on how to do things, give you parameters to fit into. But you also have to know your own self and talk to people that know you when it comes to these areas. But most of this stuff are all, quote, food supplements. And if they're used properly, there's never hardly any problems. But, people are allergic to everything. Some people, if they eat peanuts because there's a fungus on, you ever wonder why peanuts can kill people? There's a fungus on them, horrible, toxic fungus, that some people, if they eat them, it closes their throat and they die. This is no joke, people. So here's something that, well, it's only a peanut. How could something happen here? Well, the point is that not only did it happen, that person's now in a box in the ground. Not a joke. So be aware, be informed, and try and get information from several sources. And then you synergistically take that information, bring it to your personal life, talk, especially if you have some problem or taking medications. It may be something that you talked about, but take slow, move slow, and monitor your reactions. So this is important. And this gives you the best results as well. Taking a lot of something, even if it's working for you, doesn't necessarily, you want to take just the right amount. So hopefully that's been clear. You understand all that. That's another talk about parasites and viruses and other things. We're going to have many, many more talks on this. Make sure that you follow through with all of this, and you understand what has to be done. And, information is important. Of course, as I said, by supporting this organization, you'll be able to contact me by email and even directly if need be, and we can discuss your personal situation. This is a rare opportunity to get very expert advice and guidance for next to nothing. Until next time. Let's talk about, got your question, people? Are you ready? Move up the answer, man. What is your question? Here is your answer.
You'll know when the time is right.
Fascinating.